Hello, I'm Bobby Sullivan, Dandy Ridge Outfitters. We appreciate you being with us today in our test group. Come see us at Dandy Ridge Outfitters for all your hunting, fishing needs, especially your archery needs. We're ready to hook you up and put you in the woods.
Today we're testing out 6 different broadheads. We're shooting, every single one of them is going to have the Carbon Express Predator arrows. This one is the Rage Hypodermic, the G5 T3, the Flying Arrow Toxic Broadhead, the 1 3/4 Swacker, Heartcraft Deep Cut, and the NAP Spitfire 1 3/4 cut. The gel that we've made is Nox Gelatin. It is 12 inches thick that we'll be shooting in today.
We're going to add a piece of 1/8 inch masonite to the face of the target to simulate bone or hard structure that the broadhead must pass through. Then we're going to add a piece of indoor-outdoor carpet, and this piece of carpet is going to mimic the hair and hide of the animal.
Today we're shooting a Matthews Chill R at 68 pounds, 29 inch draw with that's shooting 297 with a 394 grain arrow.
I have Rock Mods upgrade. I have an HHA single pin sight, Matthews fall away rest, and I'll be shooting a Scott single hook release. It's going to test my shooting skills a little bit this morning. We're shooting at a whole 3 yards. The Rage 2-blade hypodermic. The G5 T3. The Toxic. The Swacker. The Heartcraft Deep Cut. The last broadhead, NAP Spitfire Max. We're going to measure the penetration of the 1 to 3 broadheads that pass through the back of the block. The first is a G5 T3. As we measured it, it passed through 2 1/4 inches through the back. The Rage Hypodermic is protruding 1 inch. The Spitfire protruded 1 3/8 inches. So our next process is to cut it open, cut the gel open, and see where each broadhead fell in the mix.
Oh, golly.
Ooh.
That ain't just from... Well,
That's wicked.
It just ripped it apart.
The G5, if you can look at our gel, just opened it up. Just really opened
That one and the hypodermic. Right?
and the hypodermic both just peeled the gel off. But we do have a broken blade.
Yep.
With the hypodermic. G5 T3, no broken blades. The next one's the Toxic, and it's very easily removed because it cut a hole. There's a hole that my index finger will go through all the way into the gel. What's left at the Toxic, little round strips where it punched the hole. Pretty impressive. Next broadhead in the test group opened up a wicked hole, the Swacker, but not very much penetration.
That one didn't deploy.
And one blade did not deploy. Next broadhead,
The deep cut
the Deep Cut.
pretty much did that.
Pretty wicked hole. It slid it open. Let's see if we can pull the gel in a little bit. There it is. It laid that channel right there, which is a perfect semblance of the broadhead. So it's a picture of the broadhead in the block, basically. the NAP Spitfire, and we have full deployment. Pretty wicked cut. It was attached somewhere, but it came in, ended up here with a complete V cut also. I think it's up to the person to decide the results of this test. We tried to have a very controlled environment and tested things consistently, and I feel like you can see the results. They speak for themselves. If you want a hole punched, or you want great penetration, or you want full deployment, you can see what actually happened in this test group. And we've done nothing to modify the results or anything. You see them as they unfolded. All right, from smallest to greatest in penetration, the least penetrating was the Swacker. We had the least penetration, and one blade did not deploy. Second was the Toxic. Toxic got about 10 inches of penetration. Huge amount of damage to the plastic, carpet, masonite, and everything else, but and no damage to the Broadhead. Third on the list was the Heartcraft. Great penetration, almost through the gel, but the Heartcraft had no damage to the Broadhead again, and we're actually going to shoot it again, same Broadhead on our next test. Fourth was the Rage Hypodermic. Great penetration, went through the gel block, but the problem with the Rage is we had to replace the Broadhead. Only issue with it was we had to replace the Broadhead. NAP Spitfire Max. Through great penetration, second overall in the test with penetration, full deployment on the blade, and we're actually shooting the same Broadhead. Most penetration on the test was the G5T3. Great penetration, 2 1/4 inches out the gel block. Decent damage throughout. But we did have to replace the Broadhead for this next test.
My name's Scott Turner, and I come to a Dandy Ridge because the great service with my bow and the excellent shooting range out there.
We're going to test at a 70-degree angle into plywood, see what happens when we're shooting a plywood 10 yards, 70 degrees. First Broadhead is going to be the Rage Hypodermic. G5T3. The Toxic. The Swacker. The Heartcraft. NAP Spitfire Max is our final arrow in our test group. In our opinion, none of the Broadheads did great in this test. They all seemed to fail, but as to harvesting an animal ethically and correctly, none of the Broadheads performed up to our expectations. So with that said, I guess we need to realize that we don't need to shoot 70-degree quartering away animals.
I'm Buck Henry with Dandy Ridge Outfitters. Make sure you watch Cast and Call Outdoors Sunday mornings at 6:30.